Courtesy Flush, where we give you all of the nutrients and flush out the bullsh. I want to briefly speak on this semi-crash correction today after Jerome Powell had his speech. Now, yesterday, and for those of you who don't play options, okay, you might want to skip this video, but this is how I make my money. AMC, it's a good hold. I play options on AMC, but it just don't move. But AMC is not as volatile enough for me to play options on unless you're going to play them in the long term. Okay, so that SPY and these index, the SP 500, I play it every day. Calls or puts, whatever's going on in the world, whatever's going on, in the market, I like to play the S&P 500. Now, you big money guys play the SPX, and so yesterday I bought calls, made good money, okay? And for those of you who don't know, a call is you're betting on the underlying stock to go up. A put is you're betting on the underlying stock to go down. And a call and a put represents 100 shares of each underlying stock. Okay, that's just a brief analysis of what that is. But anyway, so today I had to work, and I'm like, okay, it's almost like, you got to be careful with this, because it's almost like, damn, I got to play, So I bought some calls today, but I saw that I knew that Jerome was going to speak, and I knew that there was a lot of things happening, like the war, okay? Keep in mind that war in the housing market, it's so many different elements to the stock market that can change everything, okay? Especially when you're playing options. And that's how I made the most money in the stock market, is options, okay? So today, if you're going to play an option, make sure you're able to manage your position. Don't be at work, okay? I mean, if you're buying zero DTE, a zero DTE means you only have that day. You can buy a call or a put or wherever you want to do a strangle or whatever, a straddle for that day. It's only for one day, so you have typically no theta on it. And you're going to be, it's not like you're buying something for next month or the month before. This is at a cheaper price because it's only for today. So you better be right, okay? Because they usually try to sell them off if you don't, sell them or exercise them or roll them. They usually they last until like 30 minutes before the market close. So I knew every time I'm at work and I buy a car, I spend like $200-$300 every time I'm at work. And if you cannot manage your position, you're not going to be able to just constantly watch it. I like to watch my position. I like to know what's going on in the market. I like to know who's speaking. I like to know a lot of different things before I put my hard-earned dollars into it, okay? Because I'm playing this on a daily basis. Now, I have options for 4 hours, but listen, this is some advice to you, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I forgot how to say the crap, but I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money. Definitely not. Because if I knew the way, I would definitely be a financial advisor. But with that being said, as soon as Jerome Powell started talking, now I knew it was kind of iffy because usually you see some ups. They've been propping up the S&P 500 for months, okay? So as soon as he started talking, now I knew it was going to drop. And keep in mind, I'm at work just watching periodically. And as soon as I heard him talking, I'm like, whoa. I looked and it had dropped a little bit. And I was like down like a couple $100 on my position. So then I just got to a point where I'm like, out of sight, out of mind. I'm like, I don't even want to see it. So I come back like 2 minutes later. I say about 3 minutes later. And I'm up $100. So that means that's a lot. That's a volatile market. If I'm down $200 and like 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm up $200 in the S&P 500, that means that's a lot of fluctuation. And that's what we're seeing now is more volatility in the market, okay? as far as different, index stock. It depends on what you're playing. Okay, if you're just playing like some small cap stocks, you might not see that much volatility. But once I saw that I was up like a couple $100, I just sold right then and there. As soon as I sold, it dropped like $3 or $4. The SPY dropped like $3 or $4. I had calls, it dropped like $3 or $4. I'm like, I was almost shocked. I had to give it a triple take. I'm like the moment I sold up a couple $100, it dropped. So if I would have waited one more minute, I would have been down like what? The whole $300 that I put in. So I just had to say that if you're invested in this market right now, we are going through a lot of things with this, with the housing market. Okay, I know when we bought our house a few years ago, it was let's just say that it's up thousands, like over 25,000 more than what we paid for it within just a few years. Now, one might say, well, that's good. Now, a lot of women, they live in a house for like 5 years. They like 5 years and they're ready to move, okay? And I didn't know that my woman's not like that because she, we're from the hood. So, we're like, oh, this is great. But anyway, a lot of people, they capture that value. But it's almost like a bubble because over 25, it's probably like over 50,000 more than what we paid for it. And we only been here like 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Okay, so you need to watch this housing market. If you're going to be invested in the stock market, you need to watch the housing market. You definitely need to watch these yields and bonds, the 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, okay? Because these things matter, okay? And I know this might sound like rocket science to some people, but I just got in the market a few years ago, okay? And I started with Dogecoin. And I'm like, that's the first thing I really learned about in the market. And it was around the time of the pandemic. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start this. I'm going to start it because I've been watching it for years. So I learned as much as I can learn about that, reading YouTube videos. YouTube was a lot. And I learned, and then I found AMC and, got up on AMC. But anybody subscribed already know the story. But one thing I would say, if it's one thing that I've learned in this market by losing and winning, is that you have to know what you're investing in. You can't just go off of what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying. You have to definitely do your research, okay? And now don't let me make it seem like, oh, well, you can't do it because you're going to have to dig deep and it's going to take a lot of time to find the right company. No. All you got to know, if the company has little to no debt, okay, that's number one. Little to no debt, okay? Or if the company, is there a need for the services that the company is providing? And I mean a great need. And in some cases with the manipulation going on, it can be a dire need. But the stock is so heavily manipulated. That's why I kind of stick with the index funds because, it's weighted by multiple stocks and multiple, sectors. Okay, so just, do your research. Look at YouTube. Listen to these guys. Listen to what's going on. Google a stock like that you've been thinking about investing in. Google it. Google the projections. Google, if it's a necessity or not. But one thing I will tell you with this housing market, with that going on, you got a lot of people building homes right now because they're trying to capture. They're trying to capture this bubble before it goes pop. Okay? Now, I know I didn't mean this to be 10 minutes long, but I want the best for all you guys, and I want you to see that don't always think just because now they say, well, when there's fear, that's when you buy, and when everybody's buying, that's when you sell. And Dude, that doesn't really even work anymore. All I'm trying to tell you is this. It's looking, we all know that the market's looking somewhat grim. I'm just trying to, not be too negative. And we already know this situation is looking somewhat grim. So be focused on what you are going to invest in because you can make money in here. Puts. Because I'm going to be buying some long puts. I mean, like, for a few months out on the SPY, SPX. I'm going to be buying the VIX, and I'm definitely going to just position myself in this market if the crash comes, which, they're coming. And I'm not saying that it's just going to be one day you wake up. It's not going to be like Black Monday. One day you wake up and boom, the stock market's down to $2 and there's no everybody lost everything. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying it's not. But you're going to see a decline is what I'm saying. And you're going to see there's going to be rallies. There's going to be ups and downs, but once you start to see that decline, that's when you need to realize that those far out puts and the VIX, and it's some stocks out there you can invest in. Like, you see what happened to Tesla. And I mean, I know a lot of people who have Tesla puts. I really don't play Tesla because it's just too wishy-washy with Elon, and he can just go on some Saturday Night Live and speak and all that. But Netflix, you guys did great. If you had calls on Netflix, hey, more props to you. Shouts out to you. But yeah, I'm already long-winded, more than long-winded. I'm sorry. You guys know I like to rumble on, but much respect in the market. I want you guys to make money. So all you got to do is research, look at YouTube, Google. The information is provided for you, okay? Like, comment, and subscribe.